Got a little excitement in me this morning. Have a new flavor of coffee. I almost feel bad telling you. Should have made you wait. Maybe it's the proverbial hook in my content that so many people talk about, that you need something to grab the audience and keep them sitting on the end of their seat. So excited for your content. I'd probably go completely the opposite way. I do a slow-paced show where I just kind of talk and don't have a hook or don't have a niche, and maybe that's why I'm struggling. Maybe I'm just a stubborn son of a gun. But I think we should be who we are, and if we are stubborn sons of guns, we should be stubborn sons of guns. And if we are hook users or niche creators or whatever, you be you. Hello, Jose. Hello, Chugger. Hello, Lena. Hello, Hi. Hello, Stephanie. Hello, Dave Mason. Hello, Super Secret. Good morning. Hello, R.A.K. Sunny Girl. Eastwood. Oh, I felt so good. Felt so good just waking up. Would have been nice to drip back off to sleep and have the peace and quiet that you get during sleep. But that's not the way it works. That's not the way it works. Hello, Heather. Hello, Jessica. Good morning, Sunny Girl. Hello, Richard and everybody else. And good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Excuse me, I'm doing a little ankle stretches while I'm doing my introduction. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. Hold on, I forgot what my introduction was. It is Saturday morning. It is October 12th. It is 6:33 a.m. Happy Saturday. It's a little show. It's a little show. Good morning, Julie Flanagan. It's a little show I've been doing for quite some time. It is a show about me talking, and it is a show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit about the ups and downs we have in life. Show about me telling you, me, we. It's really me telling. Sometimes I'll get viewers to watch so regularly that maybe they become too big of a part of the show. And the show, yeah, and it just can't be that way. It just can't be that way. But anyway, good morning, Chip. How are you? But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know it is not just a show about me talking. You know it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I am so excited to have my first sip of coffee at this, for me, fairly late hour. For the typical human on a Saturday morning, pretty early hour. Hello, Abe. But I'm excited to have my first sip. My hope is that wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you have a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. My first time tasting this coffee. My very first time tasting this coffee. Let me have another sip. I think it's going to grow on me. I think a lot of times we let our anticipation of future events affect our the experience of those events. And it can happen for food or drink or, I don't know, a good time at a party or the way we expect anything to go. And I was so focused on my quizzicalness about my Frederick's cinnamon roll ground coffee that I made this morning that I almost couldn't fully enjoy the flavor, to be honest with you. Almost couldn't fully enjoy the flavor. Alphabet Pizza asked if I got that at Meijer. I did. Is Frederick's a Myers brand? I rarely shop at Meijer. Last night I went out and watched my daughter Morgie cheer at a football game. And on the rain ride home, I realized I was out or low on a couple things and stopped at the store. And one of those things I was low on was coffee. And I went in, and as a man of somewhat routine, I was thinking about picking up the Starbucks pumpkin spice coffee, but it was not on sale, and they were asking $9.19 for it. I said, maybe this is God's way of me trying something else a little bit. And I looked around, I saw this Frederick's brand. It was like $8 a bag, and it was buy one, get one 50% off. So not only did I get the cinnamon roll coffee, and I brought them as displays. Oh yeah, I didn't stop there because you couldn't stop there. You had to get one for 50% off. I got the toasted coconut by Frederick's. And that's probably what I'll be diving into tomorrow or later today if I make some more coffee. Oh, it's nice though. It's nice. Let's see. And there's people asking some stuff and saying some stuff, and I appreciate the interaction. And if anything's super juicy, I might dive in and interact a little bit. But I don't know. I kind of got a plan. kind of got a plan. I think I used to let maybe my plan get interrupted, and sometimes it's probably okay. But I found at times while I was doing my live videos, if I read every comment and engage every comment, I never, I don't know, I don't enjoy the show, and maybe it's entertaining for the viewer, but if I don't enjoy it, it just doesn't matter. So I even made an outline. I'm pretty proud of that. Good morning, Julie. I made an outline. Have 5 things I think I might talk about today. Maybe I could just sit here and drink some more coffee. Oh, so how you guys doing? Hello, country girl. How you feeling? How'd you sleep? I slept well. I woke up a couple times and, or I guess just once. Felt so good to wake up and have a quiet mind and be in bed. As I sat there, soon the thoughts entered my head and started bouncing around, ricocheting around. I wonder how many people out there are old enough to remember Ricochet Rabbit. Bing, 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 Ricochet Rabbit. He was a sheriff or something, and as rabbits tend to be, he was very fast. And I think he'd like bounce off rocks. Must have been from the mid-70s, I'm betting. Abe Eng is going to a ghost festival today. I wonder what type of ghost festival. I did a movie review on the movie Ghost a few weeks ago. Thought it was a good movie. I assume you're going to the Halloween-themed ghost festival where people dress up as scary things. Yeah. Cool. Let's see. I wanted to talk about a few things. First of all, I had a wonderful day yesterday. I went to, my daughter was cheering in a football game, and she's a beautiful girl. She's a sophomore in high school. She cheers at her local, or at her high school, and got there early, was super excited to see her. Her and her friends ran up and said hey to me, and I knew her friends just from growing up, and I coached a couple of them in track, and was super excited. I mean, there's a group, and I happen to just fall into this group of cheer parents that sit in the middle and care more about the cheering than they do the game itself. And as a guy that's always liked football and likes sports, I enjoy watching my daughter cheer and also keeping an eye on the football game that's going on in the field as well. Apparently, she's a sophomore and was cheering for the sophomore team early. And apparently the sophomore team's not very good. And I think the final score was 45-0, the other guys. But my daughter did a great job at cheering just the same. And really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed watching being at a game. I don't know. I was going to compare high school sports to, professional sports. And maybe it's neat watching the best of the best in a stadium packed filled with 75,000 people. But there's something neat about watching high school level sports as well. And, yeah. Abang is in Galveston, City of Ghosts. Lots of witches, too. Adam wants to know what watch I'm wearing, and John Rambo wants to make fun of me. So, I guess I know what to do first. Yeah, we'll just get rid of him. He might come back, but that's okay. If somebody's going to make fun of me, we don't want him around. We just don't want him around. You know what I mean? I don't want him around. Country Girl says she misses watching her son play basketball. Yeah. No, I tell you what. My oldest ran cross country, and now is off in college and isn't going to run cross country anymore. And I had such a great experience cheering on my girls in sports. God bless me with two little ones that probably do their sports as well, and looking forward to that. But yeah, there's something so fun about cheering on your kids doing their sports. And it's neat because Morgie's, it's funny, I call her shy, but she's a sophomore. I think it's tough being a sophomore. And it was just good seeing her and giving her a big hug and telling her how proud I was of her and how good she did and how much fun I had. I don't see her nearly enough. I wish I did. But alas. Somebody asked how my interview went yesterday. I had a phone interview at 9 o'clock. And earlier this week, I had a few financial surprises. A paycheck was smaller than I anticipated, and then there's a couple other ones that I won't go into the details. And, but anyway, I had a few financial surprises come across my path. And instead of kicking and screaming and moaning and groaning about the financial surprises, I got more determined than ever, and I said, okay, well, I'm waiting tables. I'm working hard doing that, but maybe that'll be a little more inconsistent than I need, and maybe I need to get a real job, whatever that means. And put my resume together and sent it out to, 10 or 15 different places. And two of the people that reached back were auto dealers in the area. And one was a high-end dealer. It was a Jaguar Land Rover dealership in a town nearby. And the other one was a Volkswagen dealership. And I have some interest in both. I've always liked German automobiles. I've owned a Volkswagen. I've owned a bunch of different German cars in my life. And I always love the smell of new cars. And I'm outgoing, friendly, and people seem to like me. But I was also a little bit skeptical about the car salesman experience. And I don't think it was just coming from the stereotype of what a car salesman is. I'd done a little bit of research. I'd gone online. I'd checked in what the average salary is. Kind of in my mind, ruled out the opportunity at Volkswagen. And at the same time, I knew very little about Jaguar or Land Rover. Never owned one. Last I knew, Jaguar was a British company. And I figured, and I thought yesterday it was going to be a, and this is my mistake. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. I should have figured out who was calling, and I might be letting you in on what I'm about to say, but I should have been aware of who was going to be calling me at 9 a.m. yesterday. But anyway, so I woke yesterday morning and was doing some research, learned that Jaguar and the Land Rover are owned by an Indian company named Tata now, like Tata Engineering. And I go, huh, didn't know that. See some of the cars in the streets, and I think they look pretty nice. I know they're fairly high end. I better learn what some of the brands are. And kind of drew out an outline for the brands and the prices and the starting prices and which were available in electric, just in case that came up in our conversation. And then I had some more time, and I go, okay, let me research a little more into the Jaguar car sales gig. And it seems like Jaguar Land Rover pays a base salary, which would be important to me. Paid a base salary, which would be very important for me as a guy trying to keep a roof over his head and has child support and any number of other bills he needs to pay. So it intrigued me. The base salary seemed fairly high, and the compensation, the commission structure, the bonuses seemed about a third. And a third was based on base salary. And I've done commission jobs most of my life, and I know I'm familiar with the ups and downs that come with working on commission. And I don't know. Maybe I don't eat rejection for breakfast enough, or maybe I'm not that good at sales, or maybe I just don't want that, or maybe I want the owner of the business having some skin in the game rather than just giving me an opportunity, whatever that means, and putting me to work. And but it appealed to me if they're going to pay a reasonable base salary and upside beyond that. So I was getting excited. I was getting excited about the models. I was picturing myself owning one of these Jaguars and driving around in it and going, which one would I like? Well, I'd like the F-Class because that's the sport car, but this other one, their sedan, might be a better option for me because I have 2 kids and I could put the car seats in the back. So anyway, I started envisioning myself in working at this Jaguar dealer in this town that I know a little ways from here. So the phone rang at 9 o'clock, and the voice on the phone was, I forget, the voice doesn't matter, but he said, hi, it's me from Volkswagen. And I was going, oh, crud, what are the odds? What are the odds? The Volkswagen dealership is calling back during my scheduled interview I have with Jaguar. I don't want that to happen. I don't want to be rude. I don't want to say I can't talk now because I have another interview scheduled with a different car dealership. And these are all panicky thoughts going through my head as I'm going, what do I say? What do I say? How do I do this? But then I go, what are the odds he did call back exactly during the interview for the Jaguar company I was all prepared for and super excited about? And then I realized I may have made a mistake in the communication and the setup of the interview. Since I was dealing with 2 dealerships at the same time, and I looked back in the text stream, and I don't think the text stream mentioned which car dealership this gentleman was from, I realized that I had prepared for the wrong interview. And the opportunity that was on the phone wasn't an opportunity I was super excited about at this point and wanted. And it wasn't the Jaguar dealership calling back, but it was Volkswagen. And I go, And this is all fast forward this 8,000 times because I did not have time to sit there and explain it to you or work through it in my head exactly what was going on. But at very high speed, I went, what should I do? I've already sort of ruled out Volkswagen. I was super excited. It's Jaguar. I have all this research done on the cars and the prices and the pay and the expectations. But I said, hey, things happen for a reason. And I got to talking with the guy from Volkswagen. And honestly, it just didn't feel like a good opportunity for me. And maybe it was my attitude. Maybe it was his voice. Maybe it was my voice. Maybe it was just not the right opportunity. But the more he talked, the less excited I was. And honestly, the more I talked, I could tell the less excited he was about me as a salesman for his dealership. And I do believe things happen for a reason. And I think I don't want to do a typical car sales job that's 95% commission based or whatever, and work in an unknown dealership chasing a dream that I don't even have. And I kept saying, I know I do really well if it was a good fit. And he goes, well, what does that mean, a good fit? And honestly, I thought about it later. I couldn't really put my finger on it. A good fit was not what I had on the phone. A good fit was not the conversation I was having with the gentleman that was calling me. A good fit would have felt different. A good fit would have been different. I felt like I was he didn't like me and I didn't like him. But I was trying my best to fit into what he wanted, and he might have been trying his best to fit into what I was looking for too, but it wasn't a match. And I didn't want it. And I think at this moment, I'm better off waiting tables with a known quantity, working tonight, knowing what I'm going to make tonight, knowing what the job's going to be, knowing I'm going to enjoy my job and be pretty good at it. And I know what I'm going to earn, and I know what it is. So it kind of felt good coming to that conclusion. The interview went horrible. But I mean, I think it was supposed to go horrible. It was kind of awkward. And then at the end, after like 10 minutes, he goes, okay, I'll go and look over the stuff, look over everything, and we'll reach out to you if we want to move ahead with it. And it was kind of awkward. It almost felt like a bad first date where you're saying goodbye and you're going, okay, talk to you soon. Because I didn't. He's not going to be calling me back. Spencer Hughes, in my best month, I made 10 grand. Typical month, even hustling and selling a good amount, about 2,800. Yeah. And I would have thought, I don't know. I like the atmosphere. I like hanging out in car dealerships. I love the smell. I love the excitement of people coming in on the lot. And things may have changed in the business where people don't come in on the lot very often. But boy, I think I could do a great job if I had people coming in that wanted to talk about cars and see some cars and were considering buying a car. But I'm sure the business has changed, like a lot of businesses have changed, and a lot of us do our research online. Think about it. 30 years ago, almost, you want to know what a Jaguar F-Class starts with. You had to go in and look at the sticker on the window. And now within, half an hour of preparation, I knew what all their models were, what their base prices were, and what the average compensation package would have been for the average salesman. Sounds like you guys all agree. I mean, I don't even know if it was a decision. I mean, they're not going to hire me. They're not going to hire me. So I'd like to say it was my decision, and a lot of parts it was. But I was sitting there and I kept saying, hey, if it was a good fit. And then he goes, well, what does that mean? And I go, well, I don't know if I said it, but in my mind I'm going, I don't want this job just to be a pipe dream of mine where, it's better than I think it is or what have you. And I kind of felt that it was going to be that way. It was kind of awkward. I'm sure he'll get over it and I'll get over it. Yeah. So, let's see. Oh, I've had a lot of activity here on TikTok over the last week or so. I posted a video about becoming a millionaire where I tell my story about the one day I was a millionaire. Got like 60-some thousand views, and it's a 7-minute long video. And I don't know. At this point, I've made before yesterday or before 2 days ago, maybe 50 or 60 bucks on the video. And it felt pretty good. And I'm going, hey, that's kind of neat. It's kind of neat. And I posted a video how I'm going to go live on TikTok now because I've been talking a lot about focusing on revenue and how I need more revenue in my life and how I have a lot of expenses and a lot of things to cover. And if I'm going to focus on social media and focus on revenue, I might as well focus on the platforms that generate revenue. So realizing that TikTok, although very inconsistently, rewards its creators with big bumps periodically. I made $35 on that video 2 days ago. And I know $35 isn't all the money in the world, but it's something. And it feels good. And because of that, I think I'm going to go live on TikTok for the foreseeable future. And, okay. And because of that activity, I've got a bunch of people subscribing to my page and people liking my videos and watching my videos. I had somebody reach out last night, and I got a message, and it was in Spanish. I'm like, that's strange. You're sending me a message in Spanish. Well, I know a little Spanish. I've worked in a bunch of restaurants. I took some classes in high school. I enjoy practicing Spanish, and I thought I'd engage with this sender in Spanish a little bit. And I did, but they started talking, saying things, and I was only getting about half the message, but it felt more like they, like it was a business call, like they were offering me something and wanting me to sign up for something or do something. I'm going, well, that's strange. They're doing it in Spanish. I mean, I have thousands of videos posted out here on TikTok. I allude to being somewhat Spanish communicative a couple times in those several thousand videos, but certainly if they watch any of my videos, they must know they're in English. But either way, I'm going, hey, might be an opportunity, might look into it. And I asked them to start communicating with me in English. And they did. And there's something on TikTok called the Creator Network. And I'm not even totally sure what it means. And this person sure didn't care to explain it to me, but they wanted me to sign up. And I explored it between texts, but they seemed to be getting angry that I wasn't responding quick enough to them and going, why didn't you reply to my last message, friend? And I'm going, you reached out to me about 15 minutes ago. It feels funny you calling me friend. And why didn't I respond? Because, I don't know, I just got home from cheering on my daughter's football game. I'm eating 2 peaches and a bowl of ice cream. And I'm taking a breath. But anyway, I continued to look on, and they continued to send me messages, and felt kind of uncomfortable. And I did a little bit of research, and apparently there is something connected to TikTok that is the Creator Network, where somebody offers some benefits to people doing live content. But this person sure wasn't telling me. Well, they reached out to me. And other than the ease of signing up to be part of their creator network and the fact that it wouldn't cost me anything, they weren't really explaining the benefits. And I felt a strange level of pressure to join their network on a Friday night at 9 o'clock while I'm eating 2 peaches and a bowl of ice cream, and I'm just got home. And it continued for a little while, and I said, hey, I'm very uncomfortable with this. Please stop. So I don't know what the point to the story is, other than there is a creator network that may or may not offer benefits to content creators or people doing live videos. But like a lot of things, I'm guessing this person didn't have my best interest in mind. And somehow I was going to sign up for their group and be connected. And they only reached out because I have a video that's being seen 60,000 times. That's 7 minutes long, and I'm getting a bunch of likes. They didn't care about me a week ago. And I don't think they really cared about me at all. And weren't looking out for me. And I think I was going to sign up for something that I shouldn't have been signing up for. And because I'm a kind of wannabe a believer, almost did. Figuring I could work my way out of it. But I put in too much work into this. Than to put this platform, join a network of some strange that's speaking to me in Spanish. That's calling me friend, which was making me uncomfortable. So I don't know what the end of that story is, other than there is a creator network, and it might offer some opportunities, and I might be reached out to, and maybe there will be some benefits. So at least it raised my awareness of that. But it feels good sitting here, not stressing that I signed up with an agent who was going to take a cut and may or may not give me any benefits going forward. Good morning, Josh Agrand, and hello, Weebree. So I'm going to take another sip of coffee. I might get a little more coffee because I don't really have a whole lot much more else I have planned to talk about. But I'm going to get a little more coffee, see if anything, what have you. Dave Mason said he sees I have good ratings on real estate sites. Well, I haven't been a realtor in 2 years. So whatever ratings you're seeing about me are at least 2 years old. The last closing I had was probably 2 years ago this month. And I would thank anybody that gave me a good rating. I certainly tried hard and did my best. But even me doing my best, I talked about it before. I had one of my best friends was thinking about buying a house, and I kind of threw it into God's hands, and we were looking and started looking in September kind of casually, and I kind of felt from his mood he wasn't anticipating one. But okay, I just had to take care of some business. Where was I? He didn't buy a house by the end of the year. And that was okay, because that was my litmus test. If he would have bought one, I would have paid my MLS and signed up for another year. He ended up buying one 6 months after the first of the year with another agent, and he seemed perfectly content with her. I asked where he got her, and he said, well, his friend referred him to his agent, and his agent set him up with a buyer's agent, and the buyer's agent seemed to do an adequate job. He likes his home. He's didn't complain about the experience. He didn't rave about it, but he wasn't raving with me either. And it made me feel really good about not being in the business, because I was trying my hardest. I was doing my best. I was showing up. I was being available. I was sending him any listings, but he was perfectly happy with his experience, or content, I don't know if happy is the word, content with dealing with somebody he didn't know, probably may have preferred it. And therefore, I never, I didn't feel I was offering any value. So I feel so good no longer being a realtor. Because if I don't feel I'm offering any value, they might as well go use somebody else. Yeah, because I'm working hard. I'm missing things and showing up whenever you want and doing everything I can. But I think the general consumer looks at realtors as a tool to use rather than a wonderful experience to have. And whether they see it as a wonderful experience or not really usually depends on their perspective. And I know when I wait tables and I have people out and are having a great time and loving me as a waiter, it's because they were open to the possibility of having a great time. And open to the possibility of me being a great waiter with them. And I don't think my buddy was looking for that in a realtor. He wanted somebody that was going to open up the doors and write a contract and submit it. I think he would have just been as happy not having any real estate interaction and doing it online if he could. And I think a lot of people feel that way. Honestly, yeah. I mean, there's homes I want to see. I would rather not have to call the realtor to gain access to them. I'd rather not have to meet them and be sold a home or shown a home. And I'm sure most people feel that way. Mary says, I would be a good substitute teacher. Kids like it when people talk with them. I had a cute little experience. There was a little change in the cheering schedule. For some reason, the cheerleaders at this high school had been working with a bunch of little young ladies and for the week, and we're doing a routine centered around the young ladies, and there might have been 100 young ladies wearing like pink sweatshirts and white bows in their hair, and that were going to get to go out with the big girls at halftime and do a cheer routine. And it was super cute. And while I'm sitting in my seat in the stadium, there was a couple young girls dressed with their pink sweatshirt and their white bow. And I was sitting next to my first ex-wife and her husband, by the way. It was fine. It was fine. I like them both. I like them both. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. There was a couple young ladies, I don't know, playing on the steps or doing their thing or just kind of being young girls. And I noticed, and it's pretty easy to tell, one had Down syndrome. And I was watching her and thinking how cute she was, and kind of, because I got a son, Augie, who has Down syndrome, and honestly, looking around, wondering where her mom or dad was, so I could see if it was okay that I could come up and say hi to her, because I don't know, I feel a special kinship to anybody that has Down syndrome just because of my experience with my son. But anyway, she ended up going up with her sister, it turned out, and sitting next to her mom. And I walked up the bleachers and said, hello, is this your daughter? And I go, may I shake her hand? Can I say hi to her? And she goes, oh, of course. And met her and got out my phone, showed her a picture of my son, and chatted with her for a little bit and told her she looked so beautiful and she was doing a great job cheering, and asked her sister if she was excited to do some cheering. And it was just a neat experience. And I came down and I told my ex-wife where I'd gone. And I said, I feel a special kinship to any parent that has a child with Down syndrome. And in some ways, I almost feel bad for parents that haven't experienced it. because it's a really, really cool experience. And I think the joy and the that Augie gives me is I'm lucky to be a part of and lucky to share at. And I wasn't even there. I told this yesterday, but my second ex-wife had bought both my young ones toothbrushes that were lighting up. And they were doing their toothbrushing routine at the end. And Augie was so excited with his flashing blue toothbrush that he pulled it out of his mouth and went, "Ah!" Then put it back in and kept brushing. It was the sweetest thing. So that's my story about that. I had a very unpleasant experience yesterday. Should I talk about that? Danny asked about my visitation hours. They are, yeah, we're going to have to change some things. And with my schedule doesn't work with visitation. And my financial situation doesn't work with visitation. And I need to work as much as I can right now. Because we as a group need money. And I have an opportunity to work more than normal, I'd say. And I need to do it, and it's interrupting my visitation, and we're going to have to make a change to that. So it's not ideal, but it's where I'm at, and I'm fortunate to be where I'm at. So I'll just leave it at that. But I had an unpleasant experience yesterday, a horrifically unpleasant experience. Should I talk about it? I don't want to end. I just talked about this soft, sweet story of my tale of love for my son Augie. All right. Many years ago, I got a tear in my esophagus, and I won't go into the details as to why, but it caused me bleeding. And it's possible there's still some scar tissue left, but I'm not sure of that. But either way, I've never been a very good chewer of my food. And if I'm eating certain foods, and I kind of gulp them down as if I'm a alligator swallowing, I don't know, a huge hunk of flesh without chewing it. Occasionally, that food will get caught in my esophagus. And it's very unpleasant. And oftentimes I'll take a swig of water hoping to wash it down. But if it's really stuck there, the water doesn't go down. And all of a sudden, you're almost drowning with a pool of water and a chunk of food blocked in your esophagus. It's very unpleasant. And it's not attractive. And your gag reflex is going off. And if you're in a restaurant, or you got to get out of there because it's not going to be pretty. And it causes these spasms in the esophagus that can last quite a while as it tries to get the food out. And it hurts, and you can talk, and you can breathe, so you're not, I don't think your life's in danger. But I was eating a hunk of beef jerky yesterday before I headed out of my home, away from home, my little home. And enjoying the protein, enjoying the flavor. Apparently, I did not chew up my chunk of beef jerky adequately. And for those that are familiar with beef jerky, you know, because usually it happens with breasts of chicken, because the breast isn't as juicy as a thigh or a leg or whatever. It sometimes can be a little dry. And when the food I'm eating is a little dry but very solid or hard to break up, sometimes it'll get lodged in there. And there's nothing much harder to break up than a big chunk of beef jerky. It's been sitting on a shelf for decades and is salted and dried out, and you kind of chaw on it to chew it up if you're doing it right. But for me, I was like the alligator gulping down the fish before I even chewed it. So it got lodged in there. And I immediately thought I could dislodge it with some water, and that didn't work, and it led to 10 minutes of ugliness over the toilet that I'll share you the gory details. But it was still in there, and usually after those 10 minutes are passed, loosens up or comes out one way, it goes down or comes up. But it did neither. It did neither. It sat there. And I'm going, oh, this kind of hurts. I got a clump in my chest. I can't swallow it down. It feels there's a blockage, but I can talk and breathe. But it's not pleasant. What am I going to do? I've been in my room 20 minutes. I was going to go to the coffee shop. Maybe if I go to the coffee shop, it'll loosen up on my scooter ride. It did not loosen up on my scooter ride. And I didn't sit, but I was extremely unpleasant, trying to drink coffee, trying to drink water, trying to choke it out, trying to get it to go down for over an hour at the coffee shop. And I'm online looking up what to do. And some of the things are saying if you have this happen and it gets stuck there for more than an hour, seek medical attention. Some said you can wait up to 24 hours. I'm imagining, holy crap, 24 hours of this feeling, going to my daughter's football game with a hunk of beef jerky stuck in my esophagus. I quickly thought of the benefits, that I might lose a little weight over the next 24 hours because I wouldn't be able to consume anything. But I also thought I might not make it. So I'm looking up little remedies, and one thing said, well, sometimes it just needs a little lubrication. As yucky as it sounds, try eating a spoonful of butter. So I asked the coffee shop if they sold any, had any butter or oil or something. And I'm sitting there very unpleasantly, very awkwardly going, I'm kind of choking, but I didn't want them calling an ambulance. But I have something in my esophagus, and I hear the butter might help, and they didn't. So I got on my scooter, left everything at the coffee shop, rode to a local breakfast joint, and waited just for a few moments. But let me tell you, one, you got to have a chunk of beef jerky stuck in your esophagus. Those few minutes are very unpleasant as they deal with a big crowd of kids that comes in front of you. But either way, I went up to the hostess and tried to explain to her how I needed some butter. And I go, could I have some? It's kind of I'm choking on something, and I've read that butter might help. She got me a pack, and makes me gag just thinking about it. I squeezed it in my mouth and swallowed the butter, hoping that would help. It did not help. Wasn't quite as bad as I expected it to taste, but it did not help. So I kind of walked around, gagged some more, rode my scooter back to the coffee shop, because that's where all my stuff was, including, I think, even my phone. Flipped around, looking for what else to do, panicking, worrying I'm going to miss my daughter's football game. I might not even make it. And certainly going to be unpleasant, and wondering if I need to go to a doctor or a hospital or what have you. And then on another piece of advice, it said sometimes carbonated beverages like cola can help. And I go, well, I'm really desperate. I'm going to walk, and I see a Walgreens over there. It's, I don't know, a couple hundred yards away. I walk over to a Walgreens, buy a Coke. By the way, it was $2.89 for a bottle. I thought that was a little high. It was buy two for $4.50. So I did the calculation while I'm choking on a piece of beef jerky, because I like getting a good deal, and decided I did not, even if it's a slightly better deal, did not want 2 bottles of Coke just because it was a slightly better deal, because this was a medicinal emergency that I was here for. So I said, okay, Ken, let's stop my quest for a good deal, and let's see if this Coke happens. So as hard as it was for me, I ponied up the $2.89 plus tax for the bottle of Coke Classic. As I was walking in, I saw boxes of Pepsi, and although carbonated, I was saying, no, I want Coke. I'm not going to do Pepsi or something else. So I'm paying, and the man's asking me if I want a receipt, and I was thinking in my head, sir, I can't tell you how little do I want the receipt to this cola. And went outside, opened it up, it went psh. I wasn't sure if it was loud enough. Psh. Took a swig, and it went down. I was scared because everything I'd consumed in the last 2 hours had come back up and caused gagging and no dislodging. But the Coke went down, and I felt a little different. I took another swig and I was able to swallow. There was still a little agitation or irritation in the esophagus, so I still felt something. But the blockage had removed. The beef jerky had gone down my esophagus. So I tell this long-winded story for anybody out there that is dealing with this and has something stuck in their esophagus, but they can still talk and breathe and can't get it to go down or come up. I struggled with it for 2 hours yesterday, and I got a carbonated beverage, and it worked. And I don't know if the carbonation hitting the back of your throat causes some reaction in your esophagus or your throat or why, but it enabled the food to pass. It enabled the food to pass. And that felt good. I'll tell you what though, 2 hours of gagging on a hunk of beef jerky is exhausting. And I tried to sit down in the coffee shop. Highland says, wow, interesting. Yeah, no, it was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah, okay, it's PG's saying it happens to him all the time. I don't know if you can, it's a really weird feeling because you're going, okay, I can breathe. If I couldn't breathe, I'd be a goner. But this bad boy's here and nothing, not even like water, can get through it to my stomach. So nothing's going to go down because it's a complete blockage. And I'm going, and it's yucky. That was adorable. Even telling that story. Well, thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. Do I take Prilosec every day? No, I do not. I don't take, no, I don't. I take saw palmetto to help with my, hey, D-Rich is sending me pumpkins. Thank you so much, D-Rich. JFW, which I still wish he'd change his name, because it's hard saying that name. I can't, there's no vowels in his name, so I can't give it a name. There's nothing, no way to say PGJWFG in a word. I need my esophagus stretch. Yeah, or, yes, I could take a medicine. I could take a medicine, or I could do an esophageal stretch, or do various things. Or I could just remember to chew my food a little better. And I tell myself to do that all the time. But I don't know, I throw in a piece of beef jerky, and my jaws are going, and I don't know, I'm hitting the edges of it. It's hitting the edges of it, so I don't even know. But I'd probably be better off just learning to chew my food a little better, because I'd say once every 3 months I go through a lesser version of that experience. But yesterday was by far the worst. And exhausting. I tried to sit at the coffee shop and enjoy my coffee, but I was tired. Again, I hadn't had much sleep, and I'd been gagging for 2 hours, feeling like horrible, and did what I could at the coffee shop, and came home, got a little rest, and headed off to go see my girl cheer. Josh Ogran says, have a Coke by me at all times. So while that is a strong suggestion, I go to my restaurant I'm working tonight. I like to only have, we're only supposed to have, and I like to only have one Coke a night. And sometimes I'll get there and I'll need the Coke right away. Sometimes I'll wait a couple hours and see if I can delay the pleasure that is opening up a cold can of Coke and swigging it down. Oh, but it is good. But anyway, it's Saturday morning. I've talked for about an hour, or just under an hour, which seems like a nice amount of time for me to talk. I'm excited about my day. I believe there's a farmer's market going on a couple miles from here. I enjoy starting my Saturdays off at the farmer's market, and I don't know, doing a little people watching. If I'm feeling hungry or feeling like splurging, they got a nice slab of carrot cake. Although she may not be there, but either way, I'll find out. Walking around, seeing if they have any fresh fruit that I can gobble down, and do a little people watching. Maybe head to my coffee shop, maybe edit some videos and build my audience. I touched on it earlier today. I posted a video here on TikTok that was doing well and had been seen 60-some thousand times and was a 7-minute long videos. Well, Rockin' Robin, if you could send me a message right now here on TikTok. Somebody just said, I left you a comment on your Instagram account about monetizing your TikTok account. I get a lot of comments on some of my videos, and I certainly don't see them all or even address them all, just because I can't. I don't know. So if you could send me a message here, if you have any brilliant plans for me, because I'd like to. I got a nice audience over there. But it felt real good having that video do well and maybe make $100 on one little clip from a live video. And who knows, in a few weeks I might post a video about me choking on beef jerky and put that as a video, its own video here on TikTok, and maybe 60,000 people would want to hear a story about one man's choking on beef jerky and the remedy. I think I'm pretty good at telling stories. Julie said I was adorable even telling that story. I think I'm a pretty good storyteller. And I have funny experiences and a funny way to relate them. And because of that, I think, I don't know, I have a Coffee with Ken show. But anyway, I'm looking forward to my day. And it's Saturday, and I'm working. I get to work tonight at 5 o'clock. I've got about a half a pot of coffee left. I got some peaches that I bought at the store and some apples, Honey Crisp apples. I was going to call them Golden Delicious, but they're Honey Crisp. I'm going to gobble them down, maybe take a few scoops of cottage cheese, get my protein in this morning. Well, thank you, Angela. Get to the farmer's market and get on with my day. I'm going to tell you a real quick workout story. I'm wearing jeans and a t-shirt. I usually go live wearing PJs every day. And I go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week, and I've already been a couple times this week. And I was thinking of stopping by the gym today and going in and I talk about doing a quick workout on how something's better than nothing. I've been kind of working on pull-ups for a number of years, but I find when you do pull-ups in the traditional sense like this, I get a shooting pain in here and here, and it prevents me from doing it. But I realize they have different hand positions for various pull-ups, and there's a hand position like this, and I'm able to do maybe 2 and then 3 that are very poor, but still provide some benefit. And if I do 2 or 3 sets of that, it feels pretty good. So my point is, I might go to the gym today in jeans and in a t-shirt and not change into shorts and not do a full workout and not do my core or my bench or my curls, but just go and crank out 3 sets of these things. And call it a day at that. And feel good about that. And having that be a 3rd time at the gym this week. And not needing to change gear or shower or what have you. And it's on the way to my coffee shop, and it would only take 5 minutes. And I bet it would feel good, and I bet it would make me a little bit better and a little bit stronger and feel like I accomplished a little something more today. So yeah, I want to thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys following along in the journey that is Coffee with Ken. I hope if you're new here, you subscribe to my page. Hope you had a great night's sleep, a great week. I hope you're feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.